Co-parenting. In this video, we'll be talking about all the information you need to think about and gather together so you and your spouse can be prepared to discuss your co-parenting agreement. When you're putting this agreement together, it should be all about how are we going to put the child or children's needs first. Hi, my name is John McKenzie and welcome to Kingdom Principles. On this channel, we'll be discussing all things regarding marriage separation. Whether you're just going into it, already separated and trying to save your marriage, or just finalizing your divorce, this channel is for you, your source of info on surviving your marriage separation. So if you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. There's a subscribe button in the bottom right of the video. And click on the link in the description to get our free report on the 7 things not to do when going through a marriage separation. Disclaimer: the information provided in this video is for informational purposes only and is not meant to take the place of proper legal counsel or financial or accounting advice. Any legal questions should be directed to a lawyer, preferably one in the area where you live, and for any financial or accounting questions, direct them to certified professionals as well. So the information here is going to be more in a point form type. So grab a pen and paper and start writing these down as we go through. Pause as you need, or rewind, or go through the video again. But take all these down so you have a good basis and understanding for when you and your spouse get together to try and work on your co-parenting arrangement. Now, for many of you, you have already gathered some of this information you can use to answer these questions. If you've watched our video on marriage separation and the first 5 things you need to do. If you haven't watched it already, you'll be able to find the video in a link above or at the end of the video. So let's get on with the video. Focusing on what's best for the children. They're the ones caught in the middle between both spouses. So having a system involving all the things to do with the kids will make it easier for you. Remember, you have to co-parent for years with your spouse. So try to make it as easy as possible on them and on you. So how long till your youngest reaches 18? This is a minimum amount of time you'll be doing this. Do you want to be in a constant state of strife with your spouse for that many years? Then deal with it before the divorce, in your co-parenting agreement, and in your separation agreement. Let's start with your parenting time schedule. Which parent will have the child or children when? And how are communications to take place between you and your spouse to reduce conflicts? How are communications between child and parent to be handled for the non-custodial parent or the parent who's away? Are you going to be doing phone or video chat, online messages, etc.? Which parent will be the primary caregiver or have the main custody? What days and times will the child be with which parent? Your parenting time. What holidays or special occasions, birthdays, etc., will the child spend with which parent? What happens in regards to sick days and or vacation days? Which school breaks will the child spend with which parent? Transportation and exchange arrangements. Who's responsible for the drop-off and pickup? Duplication of special items for both homes for the child. Now, especially with younger children, it's a good idea, if you can, to have duplicate identical items at both homes for the child. So when they're being transported from one place to another, they're not having to carry as much, and as well, they have something familiar to them at both places. So when they go from one home to another, that they'll feel a sense of normalcy. Who will be paying for what in regards to child support? Who will take care of what financial expenses? and stuff like all other non-child support expenses, extracurricular activities, or school activities. Question for the day. Are there any other things you'd like us to make a video on regarding marriage separation or preparation for divorce? Or if you have any other comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section below. On decision making for the child. Will one parent be the primary decision maker? Will both parents be splitting the decision making? Will the parent who has the child at the time make the decisions? Or will you make the decisions jointly? Or are each parent in charge of specific decisions? And how are the decisions to be made in an emergency situation if the parent responsible for the decision making is unavailable? Who besides the custodial parent will have the authority? The other parent, a family member, someone else? Now, will both parents receive information on the child from third parties? What is going to be the involvement of the other parent's new partner in raising the child? Who is not to have contact with the child? And how will you make decisions for the following? Resolving disputes, making schedules, modifying schedules. How are changes and cancellations made to the schedule? Also, on keeping track of the schedule and sharing the schedule. Who's going to be responsible for what? You also have to think about childcare and the right of first refusal for the other parent. Who's going to have the medical coverage and insurance for the child? Medical care and records for the child. Who has them? Who has access to them? The same with dental care and dental records for the child. Now we'll be getting into something that may be a little contentious. Religion. Whose faith will the child follow? Also the same for religious activities. Then it's schooling and education. Who has the accessibility to pick up the child or children from school? And non-school or extracurricular activities or special events. Who's responsible for taking the child? Who's responsible for paying? The number of activities the child is allowed to attend. And the parental involvement, the attendance and obligations in school and extracurricular activities. Parent-teacher conferences. Who attends? Does one or both parents attend? Disciplining the child or children. You'll need to get on the same page in regards to the discipline and your communication with the other parent on disciplinary actions or disciplinary actions taken. What's going to happen in regards to name changes? What is allowed or not allowed on social media by the parent? What is allowed or not allowed on social media by the children? This is going to be a big one. Electronics usage and time spent online. And what stuff online are they allowed and not allowed to access? Now comes the children's time with the grandparents, aunts, and uncles. And then a standardization of household rules for both households, including bedtimes. Then it comes down to dating rules for older children. Geographical limitations on moving or changing residence for the parent with a main custodial access. Notices for changes of residence planned. And how will notification of these changes be communicated to the other parent? Traveling outside the country with the child. And travel itineraries for traveling with the child. What legal paperwork needs to be involved for traveling with the child outside the country? Who's going to be responsible for paying the counseling for the child? Now, any and all records of expenditures for tax purposes, how you're going to deal with those. What will happen in regards to wills and death of a parent and life insurance. These are just some information and questions you need to think of before you sit down and work out your co-parenting agreement. Now, check out our other videos at the end. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Click on the link in the description to get our free report on the 7 things not to do when going through a marriage separation. And thank you for watching. Our subscribe button is up here in the corner. And please check out our videos.